All right, it's time for another episode of Reptile Quest. What do you say we get started, eh? Alrighty, so what do you think we have here? But a little Thamnophis pal. Yep, little ribbon snake. Look at our little fellow here. Little ribbon snake. He's just a little bitty guy. Chilling out, of course, you know. Thamnophis family here. I believe this is Thamnophis proximus. Usually I believe that orange is gonna kind of get a little bit deeper and turn into a red. I believe that's Thamnophis proximus, considering the locale map. But you know, I'm not a zoologist or biologist or any of that. So you know, but that's what it appears to be to me. Anyway, these guys will eat, you know, insects, worms, you know, minnows, things like that. They're totally harmless, non-venomous, and you see them all the time. Anyhow, I'm gonna let this guy go back where we found him, which is just right over here. And there he goes. Pretty cool. The shell of a river cooter, I believe. Yeah. Fortunately, nobody home. Nobody home though. Finding a lot of eaten turtles lately. Probably a raccoon buffet around here or something. What do you think? Little young broad-banded water snake here swimming along. Saw me coming and he's like, no, no. But I'm gonna get him. Oh. All right. Little Nerodia here. Little Nerodia fasciata confluens, which is of course a broad-banded water snake. These guys are non-venomous. Yes, they are colubrids, even though, you know, water snakes, some people may not know that, you know, but I think most of us snake aficionados do, but that's not everybody watching the channel. So these guys, yeah, they are colubrids. That's probably the largest group. I'm pretty sure that's the largest group, largest family of snakes, whatever. So yeah, this guy is awesome though, my little pal. You know, like I say, you know, they eat they'll eat, you know, frogs, fish, things like that, you know. And I'm sure if they came upon a little mouse, they were hungry, they'd probably get it. But this guy's pretty young. Might be one of the ones I caught last time. He's about the right size, but then again, you know, I mean, there were a bunch of babies in this area, so it's hard to say. But this guy is actually pretty calm for a little chap, for a water snake. A lot of times the babies are a lot easier, or the young, not babies, but you know, he's, you know, pretty near baby. Anyway, young. The young are usually quite often pretty easy to deal with in comparison to the adults, who are already voracious hunters, and they know how to use their teeth pretty well. So, you know, they will try to give you a bite if you If you come up on them, see, look at that. I just, yeah, just straight up put my hand on his chin and he had no problem. He's just a pretty cool dude. He's not even musking me. And I say that, he'll probably start musking me, but he's not even musking me. He's not worried about it. Anyway, you know, I love these little guys. And again, when you see them, these are not, and I repeat, these are not, you know, water moccasins. So, you know, just let them do their thing and they're, you know, they'll be fine. This guy was here in the water, so I'm gonna put him back here in the water where he was, and see, he's got plenty of branches there to anchor onto. That's why I let him go there. But he's a cool little dude. All right, you know, and I do hope to find more of those little guys in this area, because it tends to be pretty thick with water snakes. Well, I was starting to wonder if we wouldn't run into one of these today, and you know, just as soon as I started thinking that, this is what I found. And of course, this is little Echistrodon contortrix, which is the copperhead. Now, both the southern and the eastern copperheads are common to this area, so, you know, I'm not 100% which one. I mean, this one's a little darker, but that's the thing, is they're so variable. Honestly, you know, in my opinion, now I know that there are 5 species, you know, of copperheads. In my opinion, I think there should really only be 2 species, because there isn't really enough difference between the different species of copperhead for it to make sense, at least to me anyway. I mean, I think a lot of people would probably agree that it was done the research, but you know, to really call it a different species, because, you know, the venom yield is pretty close to the same. The size isn't all that different. I mean, in even localities you have size difference. So I believe that you know, it should really be, you know, 2 species and or maybe 3 tops. But anyway, and then just, you know, localities, because, you know, like banded, you know, and would you really call banded copperheads a subspecies, or would you, or, you know, a species of their own, or would you call them a morph? So that's also, but you know, in certain areas they are pretty much the predominant type. So it does make sense in a way to call, I mean, to call them their own species. That's why I think, you know, they could be their own species. But like southern and easterns, if you look up, there's really not much difference between them. And honestly, I mean, I did a lot of research, and I would say that the most common result I get is the coloration, which the coloration is so variable between, even within those species, that it's kind of weird that they would consider them 2 different species. But now, today being that it is much warmer than the last time I filmed one of these guys, I'm not going to take the liberties I did last time. You know, last time it was like 52 degrees. I mean, right now, I mean, I don't know, it's somewhere between like 70s or 80s or something. So he's going to be nice and awake. But let's just go ahead and take a little bit better look at him. And once again, as I always say, when you find venomous snakes like this out in the wild, do not touch them, because, you know, I mean, if you don't know what you're doing, you could end up in the hospital if you touch a little guy like this. So you definitely want to show caution when you're around any kind of pit viper, obviously, and that should be pretty obvious. Obvious. All right, so again, this is a pit viper. They do have hemotoxic venom, which is going to cause massive swelling, pain. You know, it's going to cause erratic breathing, things like that. You know, and I don't mean erratic heartbeat on this guy. I mean, it's going to actually gives you trouble breathing, and it could even cause your breathing to stop. It depends on, you know, the individual. So you definitely want to be careful around these guys. Now, this guy seems to be pretty calm in temperament, but you know, it doesn't mean that you don't want to be nice and safe. Most people, I would say, should never ever touch a snake such as this. But I do know what I'm doing, and I'm not, you know, this is not, right, by the way, this is not considered free handling. Just for those of you who don't know, that's called tailing. But isn't he a beaut? Check that guy out. You know I love my little Echistrodon contortrix pals. And now he's nice and hidden again. Oh, what do we have here? A little 5-line skink. Little 5-line skink. He's actually not very little. He's pretty chubby. He's a pretty chubby little guy. Let me get into some better light so we can shoot him better. Walk right through some web. All right. Look at this beautiful little guy here. He's just freezing right now. He's trying to act like, you know, he's playing possum basically. 5-line skink. Anyway, I don't really have these guys on very often because, you know, they are quick little devils. So, anywho, I'm gonna go ahead and put this guy back. But, yeah, he's just sitting there playing possum. That's funny. I'm gonna close my hand so he feels a little more safe. I don't even know where I threw my hook, but anyway. Here you go, pal. There you are. Oh yeah, you're pretty alive now, aren't you? He just ran under. All right, not bad, eh? This is a plain-bellied water snake right here. Pretty sure. We're about to come up on him though. He's gonna take off. But I'm fairly sure that is. Yeah, he's a water snake, all right. So this is a beautiful water snake here. Little plain belly, still got some of the, you can still see some of his pattern. He hasn't gone completely black yet, so that's pretty cool. But anyway, he's actually been pretty good for me. Calm down. He's been pretty good for me, but you know, anyhow, about to let this guy go, and you know, let him go about his day, and we'll go about our way. Just let him go about his business. Later on, buddy. Flip one of my favorite big logs to check. And what do you have? But another Echistrodon contortrix, one of my other. And actually this is definitely one of the ones that I caught last time. So that's pretty cool we get to see him again. All nice and lively this time. Grab my hook here. But this guy already started moving a little bit. All right, what a beaut, huh? Let's see what kind of mood he's in today. Let's see. So, again, you know, I love these little pit vipers. They are pretty cool. They always get a pretty bad rap, even though it's really not worth it because, you know, I mean, yes, they have hemotox venom, and absolutely you should avoid getting close, especially as far as like your hands. You should avoid getting close, but you know, you see this guy is not going crazy. He's not trying to chase me. He's not doing anything like that. He's actually being pretty calm, and as long as I'm pretty chill with him, and being that I do know how to interact with these guys, I've done it a bunch of times, you know, he's not too bad. He's a little bit unsure though, so I'm gonna move him off just a little, off to the side there. I'm gonna flip his log back and let him go about his way, right? So that's what we do. There we go. It's a good, easy place for him to get under. There we go. Trying to help him, but he's getting scared. There he goes. Anyway, he'll figure it out. And now let's trek on. This little guy is a little bit livelier than the last. You can see him. He's like, "Don't mess with me, pal." He's like, huh, take care of that mosquito. He's like, "Don't mess with me, I'll get you. I'll get you good." I'm just gonna let this guy go. It's another little Thamnophis proximus. Let's let him go about his day. There you go, bud. You're back to what you're doing there. Another beautiful ribbon snake here. This guy's a lot larger than my last one that I caught. Quite wiggly when you catch him, so anyhow, I'm just gonna, since we've already had 2 others this day, we're gonna go ahead and let this guy go. See, now that I've let him go, he's a lot calmer. See, look. You can just observe him a bit. This one's probably about close on about 2 feet. I think they get about 30 inches tops, somewhere around there. But yeah, this is a pretty decent sized little guy. And now that I've let him go, he's just not really too crazy, but he's just getting out now. And of course, it's not odd to see them at all in this type of, you know, scenario, you know, right by water. Pretty common because they do like minnows and whatnot, and frogs. They are definite frog eaters. That's one thing I forget to mention sometimes. They do like frogs. Most of the snakes out here eat frogs, either from time to time or mainly. Like, you know, our nice little eastern hognose pals that do live out here, but I don't see them very often, but they definitely do eat frogs. That's why they're equipped with the rear fangs. So the rear fangs of the eastern hognose are well suited for puncturing a toad that puffs himself up trying not to get eaten. And that's what that's for. So, in case you didn't know, now you know. All right, well, we've had a great time today, but you know, time's up on this episode.